Welcome back to Pixel Junkies. You're listening to the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 15. I'm one of your hosts, Rory DC.
Rory, you're a terrible, terrible producer, and I hate you a lot.
Fair enough.
I'm Adam the Forge.
You've done this job before. You know how hard it is.
Yeah, but I've only done it twice.
On take 3.
And Andrew.
And
Matt Shea.
And Matt Shea, as I might have mentioned in the last take,
Yes.
is a video game YouTube personality who has a very large army of subscribers. But this is the thing that I've noticed about your subscribers. They're all surprisingly nice in the comments.
Yeah, I encourage it.
Right, yeah.
Tell them not to be jerks, and usually it works.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And actually, I've
never even seen that before. Like, I've seen, like Mozart videos where they just play Mozart music, and there'll be, like, a flame war down in the...
There's been a few, like, heated discussions, people calling each other names. I just step in, I'm like, hey, can you not do that? Can you guys not be so mean to each other? Or I'll be like, you're being an idiot, you're not being an idiot, apologize.
Yeah. That's the thing I've noticed about you, actually. I've seen some of the discussions and stuff you've had on Twitter and stuff. You actually do try to encourage and change the behavior in your comment section and of your audience. Is that something you've always done, or is that a more recent development?
I honestly, obviously you want your audience to be pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to be saying mean things about other YouTubers or about yourself or other viewers. I mean, each subscriber you have is important to you. You don't want one of them to be singled out and made fun of or something like that. So yeah, I think it's just something I've always been doing. Of course, when I didn't have an audience, there wasn't really much to worry about. But as it gets bigger, more people will come on and try to be mean for the sake of it. But yeah.
How long of a phase did you go through before you had an audience?
Not much of one, because my channel's a little bit weird. I've technically been on YouTube for like 5 years or so. Mm-hmm. Back in 2011 when Minecraft was starting to get popular, I played it a few times, made a few videos, and then when I actually started making videos recently, a couple of years ago, I already had 250 subscribers. Of course, they're probably all dead, but not literally dead, of course.
Yeah, but YouTube dead.
They were all like 9-year-old. They're senior citizens. They're gone. No, they probably didn't even have to go to their channels anymore. But I posted one video on Reddit of Surgeon Simulator, and then it got like 300,000 views, and I got like 250 subscribers off it. And then I just kind of started doing stuff. People were like, "Do commentary videos." I was like, "Okay, I guess, yeah, sure."
Oh, okay, yeah. So you've very much gone with the flow of your audience in that way.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a couple people suggested that I do it, and I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." It feels good to get your first like few viewers. People actually talking to you like, "Yeah, cool video." I'm like, "Oh, this feels good."
Yeah.
You want me to do this? I'll do it for you.
That seems like it seems like you have a much healthier approach than a lot of people do, because a lot of people get very frustrated with the audience feedback and not knowing how to deal with it and how to adapt.
There's a big thing on YouTube. You have to balance what you want with what the audience wants. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's people on YouTube who just completely did I was gonna say 360. That wouldn't make sense. A 180 on their channel, and they just start doing all Five Nights at Freddy's content because that's what people want to see. That's what YouTube wants to see. Mm-hmm. But then eventually when that dies, you're gonna be left with nothing. You gotta do with what you want as well, or you'll hate your channel.
Yeah, exactly.
There's probably a lot of people out there who hate their channel, to be honest, because they're like, okay, so I'm doing this, I don't like doing it, but if I don't do it, I either don't get paid or nobody watches my videos, all that kind of, you have to do something about it so people go with what they've already done, even though it's not something they enjoy.
It seems like YouTube, like everything else, goes through phases where like a certain game will become like, obviously Minecraft's been popular ever since like Let's Plays first started becoming a thing. But like Five Nights at Freddy's is a good example where that seems to be like the most like Let's Played new game. Do you think like channels that like that specific, or like games like that specifically kind of grab YouTube and stuff like that, do you think that's good to try and get on that, or do you think it's best to like avoid that kind of game because that a lot of other YouTubers?
Honestly, you have to get in on the game. If unless it's totally against like what your channel is about, like if a certain strategy game is really popular, it doesn't happen because YouTube doesn't work like that. The biggest people on YouTube are the people who are there for comedic purposes, not to have strategy games and things like that. Like PewDiePie, Markiplier, they all just sit down and they just act silly and get lots of views.
Yeah.
But like these are the kind of games that do really well. Most big channels you see now, they came from something like that. Markiplier, he came from Amnesia and Slender. Like those were two really big games when he started, and I think one of his biggest videos has 1 million views, and it's a compilation, reaction compilation. It didn't even have face cam or anything. It was a reaction compilation of Amnesia: Dark Descent, and I think that really got his channel going and really helped him out. Like, you need something like that. Like, it was I had 70,000 subscribers when I started this year. And then Besiege came along. It looked like a cool game. It's something that I'd like to play. I've played a lot of games like it. So I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And just went crazy. Like, for some reason, my videos are huge on it. Like, I have a higher search result than NerdCubed. I don't know if you guys know who NerdCubed is. Yeah, higher search result than him for the videos. Some of them. It's crazy, just out of nowhere. Like, me and him were in the top 2 spots.
I noticed in your Besiege videos, they're very good, by the way. I like them a lot. That a lot of your videos are just like, hey, like, you guys have sent in designs that you've come up with. I'm going to test them out. I really like those videos because you get to see some really creative stuff. Because whenever I've seen a couple of other people Let's Play, it's like, oh, I've put a wheel on a block, and now there's a cannon, and that's my little device. And then you had one on your channel where the guy basically built like a self-loading catapult thing where you could you lower a bomb and then another bomb and then you can twirl it around. That was like the most creative thing I've ever seen in that game. It was amazing. So
there's some really talented people, and sometimes you got to use that. I mean, I've had people. I think I had like 1 or 2 people who just commented and were just like, "Oh, all you're doing is just taking other people's designs and doing them. Do something creative. Be creative." But every episode, I take a bunch of designs, I look at them, and then I do something myself. You know, I would try and come up with my own idea. Sometimes I don't have an idea. I'll just take a bunch of vehicles and try them out. And sometimes I'll just do my own idea. Like, I did a video where I ate peasants with a robot. That was the only thing I did in the video, if I recall correctly. I've done like 17 episodes now, so it gets a bit blurry. But sometimes you have to just do what people send in, so you have ideas, and other times you do your own thing.
Sure, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of subscribers like to be involved like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And like to participate and send in gameplay footage.
It's crazy how, like, fangirl or fanboy people get about stuff like that. Like, people send in comments, and I'll read it in a video, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Matt Shea read my comment." Or I'll reply to someone and be like, "Oh my god, I'm dying, Matt replied to me." I'm like, hey, I reply to, like, lots of comments, especially if you're nice to me. Anyone who's nice to me, I'll reply and say thanks.
You reply a lot, in your comments, actually. Like, it's impressive. How much does that take? Is that a lot of effort?
It's not too bad. I mean, I spend a half an hour here and there at it during the day.
Right, yeah.
I'll wake up in the morning, sometimes lie in bed, and spend like 15-20 minutes replying to everything that was done in the last 8 hours or so. And then later on in the day, I'll sit down when I have time and just do it. It's not that bad, because it used to be that I reply to most things, and now I reply to anything that's decent. I won't reply to someone says, haha, you're not going to reply to that. But if someone says, like, wow, this was a great video, and I laughed so much, I'll be like, oh, thanks for watching, thanks for appreciating it. And some people will just be like, hey, check out my channel, and I'll just delete it.
Right. What sort of things now, as some of your subscribers, I know you're going to YouTube full time now. Yeah. You've graduated university. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
In the same boat as me and Adam, who also just finished. It's a very exciting time now. Finally done exams, and still in the honeymoon period of the part where we're not like bored of doing stuff yet.
Yeah.
I
got a useless political science degree.
So what sort of are there any sort of new things that you're hoping to bring with the extra videos? I think you said you're doing 2 videos a day.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
I'm trying to branch out and do a little bit more. Like, I know that some people will criticize you for doing things like Happy Wheels. Like, every now and then you get a hate comment, and it'll basically be like, oh, I bet you're one of those people who plays Happy Wheels and does this and does that and plays 5 Nights at Freddy's all the time, because like those are the things that like the gimmicky YouTubers do, kind of thing. But I'm just trying to branch out a little bit more and do some games that I always wanted to do. Or a lot of what I want to do is there's games that I want to play, but I'm like, okay, so I have 1 video a day I could do. Back before I started doing 2 a day, it was like, I have 1 video a day I can do. I either do this video I know is going to do good, like this series. I'm going to play Sims because I know people love Sims, or Besiege. And I don't have time to play this fun little indie game that I found that nobody is probably going to care about. But now I can do that. I can find a game that I think would be fun to play and just play it and enjoy it. Yeah. Or I can bring stuff that people might not be used to seeing, like face cam, because I don't do face cam usually, just on my vlog videos. And people will complain about that. Like, I have a friend. I don't know if any of you guys know who Mess Yourself is.
I don't know.
He's a 1 million subscribers now. But back, I think it was maybe half a year ago. He did a total flip on his channel. He was doing Grand Theft Auto 5 heavily edited like machinima type videos and things like that, and funny moments kind of stuff. And he just took it and flipped it and started doing face cam Let's Play videos. But he did it in a good way. Like he still kept up some videos in Grand Theft Auto. Plus, he has really good production quality. But people complained, obviously. People were like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to see this. People started unsubscribing. But eventually it picked up again and kept on going. And sometimes you just got to push against that. I'm mostly just trying to go with the flow and let people see a little bit of it at a time rather than just take it all. But the 2 videos itself is different now. Since I started doing 2 videos a day, my subscriber gains have went down. My views and minutes watched have stayed the same, but subscribers have went down. I don't know if it's because YouTube is prioritizing the new videos people are watching who have already subscribed to my channel rather than sending them out to people who have never seen my videos before. I'm not really sure what's happened there. It could just be that I'm in a slump at the moment, but it might pick back up. It should pick back up eventually. And it's just YouTube doesn't like change, and subscribers don't like change. That's another thing. But you just kind of got to go with it and see how it works out. But if you stay consistent with whatever you do, eventually people will keep watching or start watching again.
YouTube is the website that gave Gangnam Style 2 billion views, or I think it's close to 2.5 billion now, which is
it's ridiculous.
Like what, one quarter of the population of the planet. Like that's insane.
That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But anytime We're big fans of. Do you watch Rooster Teeth or the Let's Play channel at all?
Not much.
Well, they recently one of their main guys left, and like the amount of comments in their comment section about just like I'm unsubscribing because it's not these guys anymore. He's left. I'm like, well, the other people are still there, so I just find it's amazing how people do not respond well to change. I mean that's
it.
That's anything, because I mean like you go on to like forums for Star Trek, for example, and the new like J.J. Abrams movies, people like destroyed those movies, and I thought they weren't bad, but people like said they were like I've never seen so many hate comments in my life.
It happens if you change something, people get mad, especially if you take something out that they like Sims 4. Everybody complained about Sims 4. I think it's great. I think they did a great job. If you ignore Sims 3, which had these extra features, and you just look at Sims 2 to Sims 4, it's amazing all the things they added. Like, there's nothing really taken out of Sims 2. It's just you have a game, it's the same mechanics, but they've improved on everything. They've improved on emotions, and they've improved on jobs and all this stuff, But people hated it because you took out this and you took out that and you took out pools, and now they put all that stuff back in again. A lot of it anyway. They put out free updates, but I don't know if they did that because people whined about it or if they had planned on doing that all along. But yeah, people do not like change.
No, absolutely. I actually feel the same way about the new Devil May Cry, right? Which, they took away a lot of the more like vampiric elements of that game. I loved it, I gotta say. We gotta take a quick break, but stay tuned. And we are back on the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 15, here with Matt Shea.
Is there any other languages that you want to do the station promos in, like Russian or Klingon?
What have we done? We've done French and we've done Japanese.
I know it was French, though. It could have been Russian.
Yeah.
Could have been.
So I wanted to talk about, because one of the big things, to me, there's video games have exploded as an industry. I think they're like twice what Hollywood is doing now, or something ridiculous. And I feel like two major changes that have really come that have made video games popular is Twitch and like live streaming and stuff like that, and MLG gaming. And I know I said gaming twice because anyway. But Twitch, do you have Twitch, or do you?
Yeah, I do. I don't stream that often. I want to start streaming more. It's one of the things I want to do more of now. But I use Twitch. I have about 7,500 followers on Twitch.
So what's the difference between? I mean, obviously, for those of you who don't know, listening at home, Twitch, YouTube Let's Plays are you film it and then you edit it and then you put it out, while Twitch is live. So what's the main difference between like Twitch and YouTube audiences, would you say? Are they different, do you find, or?
I'm not sure about the audiences themselves. I tend, for me, because of the fact that I'm like, hey, I'm over on this website, come see me, I tend to get more of my my more hardcore fans that they come over and they stay for a long time. But it's a totally different dynamic on Twitch. You don't have to constantly try to entertain. You can just relax. You just read the chat and say whatever you want, and not have to worry about like for me, when I'm on YouTube, there's only certain games I can play. I know that certain games are gonna hurt my channel because I'm gonna be playing that, and people aren't gonna want to see it, or I could be playing something else instead. But on Twitch, you just sit down and you just play whatever you want. People stay if they want to see. If they don't, they don't, and then it's gone again, like it never happened. So you can just do whatever you want, honestly, on Twitch. Like as for the audiences, it's hard to really compare them because it's all live, so you get a lot more interaction, which is really nice, I find. But then it gets to the point where there's too much and you can't even read the chat. So luckily I'm not there yet. I'm just at a point where I can read the chat comfortably and talk to people. But there are times where I miss a lot of things now because there's a lot of people talking to me.
Like, I find it hard enough when we do our own Let's Plays to, like, if I'm playing a game, I find it hard. Like, I'm so focused on playing the game, I find it hard to, like, contribute to the conversation that's going on. So I would find it really hard to be trying to play, like, GTA 5 or Minecraft or, like, a really popular game that, you know, that's played on Twitch all the time, and then, or League, and then, you know, trying to deal with the chat and respond to people in the chat and stuff.
But it's interesting. That's what I would have thought. I would have thought it was like a pressure cooker, but in some ways, you say it's sort of like pressure relieving because you don't have to be entertaining all the time.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought of it that way.
It's draining though. Like if you are live streaming for a long time, you don't want to say anything else. You just want to lie down and sleep. I did a 12-hour live stream last weekend for Able Gamers. It's a charity for people with disabilities. They like to improve their lives through gaming. And it gets draining after a while. I did a 24-hour one, so I lost my voice for a week.
Wow.
I think I finished it on Sunday, and I didn't get my voice back until like Friday or Saturday the next week. Wow. So it's like putting up like highlights videos from my other videos, a stream highlight, something that I can put up that doesn't involve me making new commentary because I do not have a voice. It was fun, but it was really draining.
Mm-hmm. So, like, one of the major things, like, concerns I have with Twitch is not the platform itself, but with the people on it, because, you know, you're hearing all the time, like, it's even become such a thing where, like, the news is starting to get into it, stuff like swatting and things like that. Has that ever been a concern for you, or?
No, it may eventually. I think it'd be a lot easier for someone to find my address, just because, you know, it's a smaller place.
Yeah.
But luckily, it's not a concern for me because that is scary. Like, if a SWAT team comes in your house and your dog barks at them and, like, you know, approaches them, they can shoot the dog.
Yeah.
They will shoot the dog. Like you could lose, you know, members of your family pretty much because people are swatting you. It's ridiculous that people think that is some kind of like joke, or, you know, even if you have like a malicious intent, that is not cool whatsoever. I mean, people are just sitting down like live streaming, and people have so much against them that they want to send a SWAT team to their house, but
it's weird more than anything else.
Yeah,
like, it's just I don't know how someone like came up with that.
Like, I've heard people let's say that, like, the reason that they do it is because it's like a rite of passage for Twitch users. Like, you're not a true Twitch user unless you've been swatted. And I'm like,
I'm gonna have to disagree with
that.
People
Like,
don't understand like the severity of it is the thing.
Yeah.
People just think it's a funny joke. Oh, look, the police are at your house. That's not funny. You will get sent to jail if they find out who did it, because, like, that is resources they could be putting somewhere else, and they're coming to your house because they think you have a bomb. Like, hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
I know some Twitch players are now working with, like, the police, and they're saying, okay, I'm twitching now. I'm on Twitch now, so if, like, a call comes in and stuff like that, like, they work with the police in order to not drain resources, which I think is a great response to that. But guaranteed, there's going to be something to replace swatting when, you know, because they're always, you know, people who just want to jerk about and, you know, be an asshole to people. So
I think the problem is there's a disconnect between the screen and the person, you know, you're watching.
Yeah.
It's easy to villainize somebody that's not doing what you want to.
Exactly.
What you want to see.
People do that on the internet all the time. Like, I hate PewDiePie. No, you do not hate him.
Yeah.
You do not know who he is, okay? Like, he's just a guy who makes videos on the internet. It's a personality, and even if you find him annoying, why would you hate a person? Like, people are like, oh, I hate this guy and I hate that guy. Like, no, you don't.
No, exactly.
Don't hate them. You just dislike their content.
People haven't learned to treat, like, YouTube and internet and entertainment in general the way they treat, like, television. Like very few people will say just so casually that they hate someone just on the TV who's playing, like, a character or doing their own thing, or, like, very few people hate Jay Onright from TSN when he was on there. But for some reason, people are just willing to just casually throw out there. Like, it's crazy. Some YouTube videos in particular, like I know IGN's comment section is an absolute mess for people just, like,
they could
terrorizing that comment
They could
section.
post something like new Marvel comic is going to be focusing on, I don't know, Aunt May or something random, and then the comment will like break into a flame war about which console's better, and like every time it'll be a console
it's crazy.
war.
Yeah.
And then somebody will stupidly say, "Guys, I don't know what you're talking about. PC's better," and then like it melts down, and like I don't know. It's just the negativity on the. I think I read an article, several articles that said that the reason that this is because it's the same reason why people are able to like throw stuff on stage like at a comedy show or shout something else, because they're masked in the crowd and there's no
mob mentality.
Yeah, essentially, and there's little chance of somebody finding out who they really are in real life. Like they would, if somebody's saying a negative comment to you on a YouTube video, they would never say that to you in real life, because obviously like you could say something back to them or I don't know.
I've only had one person constantly harass me, and he's been doing it for I think at least 6 months now. His name is Big Daddy Dean.
Oh wow!
And he's just a random commenter. And if you go to his Google Plus profile, all his comments are so mean, and he just throws out like, "You're autistic. You're this. You're that. And your content sucks. And I can't believe people watch you." And for me, he's just like, "Oh my God, why don't you go ahead and die already?" And it's crazy. It just amuses me really, because he spends so much time trying to hurt my feelings, and he keeps coming back because he says, "Oh, I saw your video come up in my suggestions, and I had to come tell you that you suck."
Really? Is this just you that he does this to, or does he have a whole like collection of YouTubers?
I have no idea. He's generally hateful. I know that, and I think he may be banned from my comment section. So I think he only just replies to comments now, because you can do that. It's terrible, but you can still reply to comments that are on mine because it's a Google Plus post by someone else.
So someone can comment in your comment section. So someone who's banned from your comment section can still appear in your comment section by replying to other comments.
Yeah.
That's absurd. That's crazy.
Yeah, I had someone tell me that they had lung cancer, or that they were like fighting it or whatever, and somebody replied and said, "I hope you die," and I was really distressed about that, because like this person is going through a hard time. And I tried to delete the comment. I banned the person, and the comment was still coming up. There was like no way for me to get rid of it, even though it was a comment on my video that they were replying to. Mm-hmm. It's really
the
system.
Google.
Yeah, the system needs some work in some areas, but they're doing a good job. Like in terms of spam prevention, and like everything gets filtered. If you mention my channel, it seems that it's like immediately get filtered. It's probably because other people have marked them as spam, but I hardly ever get any links or any people self-promoting. It automatically just goes to spam.
Have you ever had any problems with the copyright strikes and things like that? Like people trying to get videos taken down for copyright even though they don't violate any of YouTube's terms?
Well, for that, you're probably thinking of community strikes. Community strikes, you can flag a video. Mm-hmm. I had one Sims video flagged once for community violation, and it was like, "Oh, your video can no longer be viewed because it violates our terms of service," and I appealed it. I got it back. It's because I decensored the Sims, so they're walking around like Barbie dolls. And I appealed it, and I was like, "No, this is not sexual content. This is Barbie dolls." Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Yeah, we reviewed it, and you're right." So,
okay. That's a more positive experience than I usually hear. Like especially like Andrew stuff. I don't know if you've been following like Jim Sterling's sort of trouble with that over the past, and he's had. I don't know if you. Yeah,
those are attacks from developers who have the rights to the game.
Right. Yeah.
Those are copyright strikes. I've seen a lot of Jim Sterling's like complaints about that. I've watched the videos where he talks about it. Like he did a commentary on a video, a really bad zombie game, and then the developer did a commentary over his commentary.
I remember that.
I remember. Yeah, that was
like,
hilarious.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And then did he? I almost think he did a commentary over the developer's commentary of his commentary.
He did,
yes.
He did. Well, he did a Jimquisition where he talked about that scenario and played clips from it. Yeah,
it was really funny. Like he was just because the developer did is he used like subtitles.
Yeah. Over
Jim stuff. So Jim watched it, like he could see his own video and then see the subtitles. He paused it and just laugh at it and just like talk about this and that. And I'm not sure if that developer took his video down or not, but. Yeah, there's been a lot of developers who have attacked him because he tells it like it is.
Yeah, that's never happened to you though. You've never had a problem with that.
No, I've never had a problem because I don't usually play really bad games.
Yeah.
Because for him, he's really into informative videos. He plays like every new game that comes out on Steam. He's like, okay, this is a new game on Steam, and it's utter crap.
Yeah.
It's basically how it works for him. But so he's more into informing people. So he plays a lot of really bad games that normally would not be good for YouTube, but they're good for him because that's his kind of.
I feel like because Steam's a great service for indie developers, but it's also, I feel like, a way kind of like the iStore for iPhones, where just a lot of people can get games out there that are just like cash traps. Like you'll buy it and then all of a sudden like they talked about a game on the iPhone where like the menu button was right next to the buy like $100 worth of like microtransactions button, and so many people got charged because they accidentally hit the wrong one, and stuff like. So I feel like a lot of games are just there to get a quick buck and get like and not actually make a good game.
Grass Simulator.
Yeah.
Have you guys played Grass Simulator? Anyway?
No, we've avoided that one.
I did a video on it just because I can do that, you know. I make money on videos, so I can play a really bad game that I pay for. And people are like, "Why'd you pay for it?" I was like, "So you don't have to, guys. So you don't have to." But no, it was really bad. It's just basically a bunch of like default assets thrown into a game. You like, it's awful. And I know a guy, and he says that his friend made the game. And he had like a few copies of it. He's like, "Hey, you played Grass Simulator?" I was like, "Yeah," and it's awful. And he's like, "Oh, my friend made it." I was like, "Well, tell your friend to stop making games."
Yeah.
Please.
I remember when the simulator thing first started, because I think I was in like the 11th grade when I first started noticing, and I was playing John Deere like tractor simulator, and I never in a million years thought it would come out to be a trend.
For months,
I played that for a long time.
Nothing but John Deere Tractor Simulator.
It doesn't sound that great.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. I thought it was unbelievable that such a thing existed. You know, it was because it wasn't one of these like I understand like plane simulators and driving simulators. You know, the realism.
The first one I remember is Flight Simulator. Flight Simulator was always a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and that's because like few people can actually like fly airplanes, so that's like a understandable game. But when you get into like train simulator, like, ooh, I can make the train go a little bit faster, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
when did that start? Like, what was it that really brought it out? I can't even remember now. Like, I think Train Simulator was one of the first ones that started coming.
Train Simulator definitely, and like there's a like large number of trucking ones, like 18-wheel trucks just going down Detroit highways.
European like German games.
Euro Truck Simulator is an excellent game.
Every location in those games is some like
they're all
German place.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is Germany is so heavily censored. That's all they can make.
Yeah.
For the most part. It's either that or make no game. So
right.
You get all these simulator games.
I mean, we've gotten to the point now where people are making like parody simulator games, like Bread Simulator.
Oh yeah, Bread. Yeah.
That has to be one of the funnest games to both play and do
It's true. I Am Bread. Bossy Studios is good at making games that are actually good but appeal to like they made Surgeon Simulator, and it was just like a 48-hour game, and I got hours of entertainment out of it trying to beat like speedrun records with it. And then they came out with a full version of the game, and some people complained it was like, oh, this is, like get this if you want to waste a few dollars, or like you're bored kind of thing and you just want to throw a few dollars away. But honestly, I got a lot of time out of that game, and they kept putting out free updates for it. Like I Am Bread, what they did is they released it in early access, so it wasn't really free updates. It was like, oh, we're adding to the game, like we're coming with a full game. But for Surgeon Simulator, it was like, okay, here's the game. You can pay $10 for it. There's 3 different surgeries plus a space surgery, and you can also do them in ambulances. That was that. Then they came out with Team Fortress 2 surgery. You can operate on the heavy, and then they came out with alien surgery. You can operate on an alien, and they came out with...
Weren't all the organs in the alien named after really popular YouTubers?
There's a Pewds ball, there's a Robaloraz, named after Robaz. As Burger's Palix, named after Burger Pal.
Gavicle after
Gavicle, and... Yeah, there's Gavin and Michael.
Yeah.
Was there one more? I think it might be a couple more. The Gobble Shaft is not named after anything. It's just a ridiculous word. Gobble Shaft.
Isn't it unbelievable when a company that makes one of these simulator games has better customer support and updating than Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, are you a fan of Battlefront at all? Star Wars Battlefront?
No, I haven't played it.
Okay.
I'm not a Star Wars fan. Just never got around to it as a kid.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna watch them soon. Okay. Now that I got some free time, I'm gonna watch the Star Wars movies. I'll get caught up.
Well, have you played, like any of the Battlefield games at all?
Oh yeah.
So you know how EA has kind of botched several of those in the last number of years. It seems like the Battlefront games are there because Battlefront was a game that was released by LucasArts back when that was the thing, and was it Pandemic Studios?
It was.
Yeah.
And they came out with the release. They during the Star Wars Celebration last week, they came out with a bunch of information about it, and it seems like it's getting the typical EA treatment where cut down content, locking stuff away. I don't know if this is the case because honestly, the amount of information that's been put out,
we don't know anything pretty much about the game yet.
Yeah, but it seems like this might be a trend that they're following just based on the limited information that we have gotten. So I'm pretty disappointed by that.
It's crazy to me when you hear about DLC so early in a game cycle.
It's really weird. It is that they say like, oh, we got this plan, but then again, it's what they're doing is they're putting all the resources into something, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna have time after this. After the game comes out, we're gonna spend another 6 months making this. So it kind of makes sense in a way, and it really depends on how you go about it and how much DLC you're getting.
Absolutely, yeah, and for what price as well, because some companies will come out and say we're gonna release some free DLC for this. Just at the beginning, just to get it out of the way. It's free. Like, they make sure to emphasize that, just so no one gets scared and gets angry and makes a video about it. We're going to take a quick break now, and when we come back, we will discuss more about video games, and at some point during the show, I wanted to do a quick review. And we are back on the Pixel Junkies podcast, here with our guest host, Matt Shea. Now, I'm not sure what order. I think we have probably a couple stuff left on the docket for the show. I'm not sure what order we want to do it in.
Well,
we have dockets now?
Yeah, let's get to your stuff.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so...
Do your thing.
Okay, so I wanted to talk quickly. I finally got around to playing Thief.
Came out last year, ladies and gentlemen.
It came out last year, and I finally got around to playing it, largely thanks to it being free.
Free?
Yeah, free on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, was it free?
Yep, you betcha.
How was it?
You know what? It's good, but there's some problems. First of all, before ever talking about Thief, there's one thing in games that's really common. Lots of great developers do it, and I don't like it. Mechanics for things that I could be doing myself. The real archetype of all of this is cover mechanics. Hate them.
You mean like scripted events?
Having any cover mechanics whatsoever. Like, press square to take cover. I just like crouching and distributing the cover as I see fit.
Right.
Partially because I largely came into games because of first-person shooters, and so it's taking cover as I see fit is sort of rather intuitive to me. And Thief mostly avoids that, except they have a peek mechanic, which bothers me, because I'm just like, just give me the ability to lean, and let me use that at my own discretion. Like a lean... Do you remember, like, old games always had lean? And now no games have lean. It drives me nuts.
Do you have to be in cover in order to peek? Is that...
No, there's no cover mechanic whatsoever, which is nice. But if you're behind something, it's always like, press square to peek. I'm like,
I wonder if that has to do with like the game engine itself. With leaning, it might not be like the AI can see you. If it's like, oh, he's holding a square and the AI is looking at you, then he can see you.
Right.
Leaning as a mechanic was pretty much killed off with the controller, right? You can't use Q and E to lean.
That's true. Yeah.
Controller.
They had lean in Ghost Recon 2. There's a 1. I don't know. I played like one of the Ghost Recon games for PS3. Mm-hmm. They had a lean function. It was really clunky and ugly to use. I never used it.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's awful.
Yeah.
I remember when those games came out, like the Ghost Recon, was it Future Soldier? Or no,
that's a new one.
Advanced Recon.
Advanced
Warfare. There we go.
Warfighter.
Yeah.
Advanced Warfighter.
Warfighter, it is Warfighter.
Is it Warfighter?
Gra.
Yeah, because Advanced Warfare is the Call of Duty one. No, Modern Warfare. You know what? They're all the same.
There's also Advanced Warfare now. And Warfighter is the
you're right.
one.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, Gra, when it came out, I remember that being like the cutting edge of graphics, and I went back and watched a video on it like a couple of months ago. I'm like, oh my god. Like, I can't, like, it just looks so bad. But I remember, like, when it came out in the back in the day, being like, I can't believe graphics look
lighting
this
was
good.
Horrible in those early Tom Clancy games.
Yeah. Well, that really was their downfall.
Was
the
muted.
lighting. Yeah. Even in the old Splinter Cell games, the lighting was the big downfall. Like Pandora Tomorrow, do you remember? But yeah, the interesting thing is, so I heard a lot of complaints about Thief before I'd ever played it, which, you can argue is maybe not the best, mindset to go into a game with, but all of them were true, but there's one important caveat about them. They largely don't detract too much from the gameplay. My pet peeve is broken games. This game is not broken. Most of its technical difficulties, its frame rate drops, and its weird texture changes are in the cinematics. I'm watching,
That's weird.
What's his face? Garrett's nose change in texture as the cinematic goes on. It's strange. Like, change in color. It'll go from black to, pale white.
It's having a breakout.
Are they in engine?
Yeah, I thought the cinematics were pre-rendered.
Well, that's the strange thing. It's so weird, and they're so choppy. The movement. It's like, how did they screw this up?
Well, they're rendered as you go, I think, because they're not video clips. I don't think they're actual.
Yeah.
So I guess that could screw up like that. Because some games, I hate it when they do this. Like, Deus Ex Human Revolution. That's my pet peeve in that game. Is you walk into a room and it gives you a cutscene. Like, no, just show me the people in the game talking. Why break this immersion? I want to see these people in the game talking rather than like a compressed MP4 file playing on my screen.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to see 360p here. I just want to see like crisp 1080p 60 frames per second cutscene because you can do it if you want. Like, no, we have to add some lens flare in here and you a nice sunset in the distance. No, don't do that.
That has to be something that developers must consider when they're making a game. Because if you play a game from 10 years ago and it has pre-rendered video clips for cutscenes, it looks terrible. Mm-hmm. Like, you're playing a game, it's in like, I don't know, 1080 or 4K now, and then it gets to the cutscene and it's like, what is this? It looks horrible.
You know what's some of the best games for that though? The Command and Conquer series, because they get actual actors in to like do live.
You say the best games for that.
I love. They're so cheesy and bad, those clips. But like number 3 had George Takei as like a Japanese emperor, and I'm just like, that. What more could you want?
Oh yeah, like all the Elder Scrolls. Like, do you remember playing Daggerfall when they had like the live action cinematics? You know what? All in all, I like Thief. Now, the thing about the AI. This is the complaint.
I would argue that the AI makes it a broken game.
Here's the thing. I have no problem whatsoever with the AI's ability to see me at any given time. Like, that all seems reasonable. What it is the AI isn't alert enough to the way I interact with the environment. Like, I'm hiding behind a table. I can buy that guy standing over there on the other side of the warehouse doesn't see me hiding behind the table, but he should see items disappearing from the top of the table that he's staring at. Or, like, if 2 guards are staring at each other from across a warehouse, I'm hiding behind one of them. Maybe the other guard can't see me, but they should see me, like, clunk him over the head with a claw and put him in a chokehold.
Yeah. It's always fun when games do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to poke fun at it, too. Because that's what I do in most games when I play it. I'm like, look how bad this mechanic is. And just make fun of it and keep doing it. Works for me. Because, that's what I do in videos. Just, I'm really sarcastic, so.
It's like a really funny one was in Far Cry 3 when you were infiltrating the bases. You could sometimes they would have like cages of animals in there, and you could shoot the cages, and the bears and stuff would or the tigers, whatever dangerous animals in there would like come out and attack the guards around, kill most of them, and afterwards they're like, all of our friends are dead. Well, back to patrol, and then they just go back to where they were.
Skyrim. Skyrim is the worst. Hit someone in the back of the head with an arrow. Must be seeing things.
Yeah.
Walking around with an arrow sticking out the back of his head. You can do that like anywhere in the game too. Any cave you go into, you shoot them, and if you have enough sneak, or if you have invisible like spell or whatever, you just go in the corner and like, I must be seeing things again.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant.
We'll see my imagination.
When you max out the sneak skill in that game, it gets like hilarious because you can like pickpocket for somebody, then Crash is like, "Where did he go?" and he's like looking right at you. I'm like, I'm that good.
I think my favorite actually like comments for like confused guards come from Thief. He goes, "Must have been the soup I ate." It's like the soup you ate, like stole your friend and beat him over the head with a wrench.
Some hardcore soup, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Must have been French onion.
So, like, I think ultimately the thing to say about stealth games is that they should all be made by Arcane. Basically, because this is like
Hideo Kojima.
Exactly, yeah. Because if this was or some of the Tom Clancy ones have been really good, but like basically this feels like Dishonored. If Dishonored had just like a couple extra quirks that made it a little too weird. That's basically it.
Yeah.
You know what's weird about like the game Dishonored?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those games that I feel like only became popular after it'd been out for a while, because I only hear people talking about it now in retrospect. And it's kind of one of those games that I feel is reminiscent of a time on PC gaming that you don't see anymore. Like those kind of games, like it feels like the original Thief games in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And you don't see games like that anymore. So it's a game out of time, and I like it for that.
Mm-hmm. And that's a thing that really, and that sort of game out of time phenomenon is something that is only really happening on PC anymore. That seems like a PC localized phenomenon. Like that rarely happens with console games.
Well, it's a lot more indie on PC.
Yeah, exactly.
People are more free to do what they want, I think. And that tends to help.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the unfortunate thing about consoles right now is that we're like the games we're getting. They're good games, but like. I want a PC just so I can play some of those exclusive PC games. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouths. Yeah.
I'm not saying the background you need for this is that they both play PC, and Adam plays consoles, and I play both, and
But I've
there come times of conflict.
But I have always said that I would get a PC, but just for PC exclusives. Like there are no good like strategy games on consoles at all. Like the last good one I can think
You
of.
just say that.
Well, XCOM was depending upon if
So
you
you're getting
qualify
it for the games you can only play on PC, but all the games are better on PC except for the really crappy ports like GTA 4 or whatever.
That'll be his gateway. He'll start off with like, "Oh, this game's exclusive," then it's like, "I'll get this game on PC too," and then it's like, "Oh, I'll sell the Xbox. I don't need that anymore."
Go play your GTA 5 on console and come back.
Okay, speaking of, like
PS2 or whatever.
trying to play GTA 5 on PlayStation 4, I'm like it almost makes me want to get a PC for that because it took me and my friend an hour to get into the first slice of the Flecka job. Is it Fleesa job? Whatever. It took us an hour to set that up. Just because like the game crashed 3 times and like sent me back to desktop. I'm like,
Did it?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not good.
You know how at the beginning of every heist you go into like your friend's apartment or your apartment or whatever? I entered into his apartment and then immediately dropped to the floor and like fell right through the level and I'm like, and I kept falling. I'm like, Thomas, I'm gonna have to like respond. I couldn't respond or respawn or whatever, and like I'm gonna have to exit out this.
I thought the game like reset you above the ground when you fell through it.
It for whatever reason it wouldn't do it, and eventually I ended up getting a white screen. I was like, okay, well.
Why are so many games broken? What happened like 2 years ago?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the
It's been longer
PlayStation
than
4
2
version.
years.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've just been ignorant to it because I don't know. I guess before 2 years ago, I was just playing Elder Scrolls games. I was so happy.
I think it's gotten worse, definitely.
You know what we haven't talked about? Paid for mods.
I was just gonna bring it up.
Oh yeah,
Like super huge, cover me in gasoline, light a match, jump off a cliff news.
Yep. It's awesome.
Sounds like you're not looking forward to it.
It's already out. You can already do it. You can.
Yeah.
Somebody made a horse genitals mod for $99 as a parody, I guess. It's like realistic horse genitals, and you can buy that for like $100. But like, you get mods for like new armor and things, like $5. Nobody wants to pay $5 for some armor in a game that's huge. Like this game is huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Skyrim is like one of the biggest, most like immersive games ever, and you can do like anything in the game. Like go to all these different places, explore all these different dungeons, and like you're gonna make me pay like $5 for some armor or like a few lighting effects when it was free 2 days ago, and now it costs all this money for it. And a modder actually posted, I think, on Reddit about it and said this is why I don't like what's going on here, and he had some really good points. Like, basically, just like it's gonna create a new divide between modders and gamers. Like the modders are now out to get money. Like you can't mod for your passion anymore. You're modding because you want to make some money.
Yes,
that was one of the few, like one of the main reasons why I love Skyrim. And there are a lot of games like Skyrim where it had such a it was a game that really respected its modding community. Where
absolutely,
as opposed to a game like I love games like Mass Effect or Halo or stuff like that. But those aren't modding games like stuff like Skyrim or.
And Skyrim had so many more so much larger modding community than Oblivion did.
Yeah,
like it just exploded.
That's why it's still so popular.
Yeah.
That's why people are still playing it. Is the mods and locking. Locking this stuff behind a paywall is not going to help anything.
And what if your mods conflict? I mean, you have 24 hours to find out if they do after you buy it, but like
that's the thing.
Mods conflict all the time. You want to switch mods out, you want to change things up, and now it's like, well, you buy this.
Nice one.
Go on. You buy this mod. You buy this mod for like $5, and then you want to switch over to something else, and you got to pay another $5 to try a different mod, and like it's ridiculous. Like to have to pay for a mod such a high amount of money.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola.
So here's the thing. Steam came out, I guess when you're sitting this last Thursday. So you would, before you were able to go into the Creation Kit and create a mod and publish it to the workshop, now you can choose to set a price or set a price for that mod, or you can let someone choose the price.
That's a real shame.
There is a minimum.
Because some of the best mods I've ever seen have been for Skyrim, where they've just done, like, my personal favorite mod of all time is the one that they replaced all the dragons with Thomas the Tank Engine.
I was going to mention that.
That's by far, but, like, I would
Dragons! There's dragons coming!
I'll tell someone, I don't know if you saw, where they replaced all the dragons with Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
But, like, I would never pay money for that, because, like, why would you, just for a gag?
Yeah.
But,
I don't disagree with it because obviously there are going to be people abusing the system and just putting out crap for money.
There are already people taking mods, like free mods from Skyrim Nexus,
Yeah,
and
I read
uploading
about
it to
that.
the workshop and charging money for it.
But there are people who put in hundreds of hours on creating assets and textures and models for mods that I think you should get a few bucks for, which I think they should adapt the Humble Bundle model in that you upload your mod, you can download it for free, or you can say, like, I'll get this mod for $2, or I'll give them $20.
Sort of like do like a pay what you want.
Yeah, just
sort of like
yeah.
a Radiohead model.
Yeah, just pay whatever you think this mod is worth. If you just want to screw around with it, then I'll get it for free. Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
They do that in Itch.io. I don't know if you guys know about Itch.io. It's a site, itch.io. I don't even know how you're supposed to pronounce it, but it's a site for games. A lot of like indie games around there, and a developer can choose to like set a price, but then you can get it for free if you just click this no thanks, go to the downloads. Or I tend to buy my games if I know it's a good game. I'll pay the £1 or whatever they're charging for it, but you can just choose to go to the download section and download it and play it, and then you can come back later and actually buy it if you enjoy it.
See, that kind of stuff I like. I think like mandatory pay things after this whole. Because, like, I must have rambled, like, on a million episodes about, like, the overabundance of, stuff like DLC and stuff locked. What I think is happening with games, which is they're releasing part of a game and locking the other, quarter behind money. And so I think that's given me a real distaste for mandatory pay things.
Day one DLC is the worst.
I think if they introduced pay what you want, it would get rid of all the people abusing the system. Because
I agree.
It's just the
I think that would be a clever way of doing it.
There is a pay what you want model for these mods, but Steam has a limit, like a minimum limit.
Oh, well,
So
that's a
you
problem.
have to pay a certain amount of money as long as you choose this.
That I don't like.
And the split is 25% of the profits go to the content creators, 75% gets split between Steam and the developers.
That I really don't like.
Yeah, and you need a minimum $100 payout to see any money, which means you have to get $400 worth
So,
of sales, I think.
Is Steam some guy just like flipping a nickel between his knuckles with like two guys with baseball bats being like, hey, if you don't give us our fair share, we're going to come around and break your kneecaps?
Must be.
It's a shame because, like, when, like, I know some people who aren't into video games, and if ever any of them ask me, about why I like video games so much and why I put time into them, one of the things I love to say...
It's getting harder and harder to tell them why.
Well, it is, yeah, but one of the great things about video games is you have so much value for your dollar. I mean, more so than literally any other entertainment medium. I mean, me and Adam are both film critics. We love movies, of course, but, at the movies you can pay $18 for 2 hours, but with a game you might pay a little more money. You might pay $40, $50, $60, but you could get, in excess of 200 hours. It's an unbelievable amount.
And there are indie games that are really cheap that people get that much out of too, like Binding of Isaac.
Exactly.
So many people play that game so much. I mean, Northern Lion has a series on that game. If you guys are familiar with him, he puts out an episode on it every day, and he just does a different challenge every day. And he's been doing it for, I think he has like so many hundred episodes, like 600 or something. And he recently started on Rebirth because the new like updated version of the game came out, and now he's doing a series on that. And like people just watch it and watch it and watch it. Some games like, and you don't even pay a whole lot for it. There's games that are really really cheap that you'll get a lot of time out of.
I mean, how many hundreds of millions of people, maybe even in the billions at this point, have bought Flappy Birds or downloaded a version of Flappy Birds? Like, even I have one on my phone for a while.
Yeah, and he gets all. He was making like something like $40,000 a day off of ads for that.
Man, that's intense. And with those games like Binding of Isaac too, it's very good for the consumer because we get so many hours of it ourselves playing it, and then also we get so many hours of entertainment watching other people play it too. That's one of the great things. Like your entertainment time practically doubles. But now, like you say, it's getting harder and harder tell that to people. You know, while you're dishing out, you know, $60 and then dishing out another $15. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I must have tried at least 1,000 mods for Skyrim. And if I would never have done that if I had to pay for each one.
Can you imagine if each one of those was $5? You would have spent $5,000 on Skyrim.
Even $8 or less than $1.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's still crazy. Yeah.
That's
I'm all
one
for
semester's tuition.
I'm
Yeah.
all for supporting, you know, the people putting time and effort into this stuff. But this whole thing could have been avoided with a donation button instead of a paywall.
Yeah.
It's just a bad idea. I don't know. It seems weird to just throw this out there all of a sudden without any real...
I don't agree with it being such a widespread and easy to do thing. I think that if modders are really, like, if they put out a really good mod, like, there was a guy and he's pretty young and he did a huge mod for Skyrim.
Falscar.
There you go.
Falscar. He got hired by Bungie, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the guy? Right, yeah.
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 Like,
Like
I
something
would
like
pay
that.
money for that.
Yeah, exactly. So put it on your own site and say,
Yeah.
hey, you want to download this mod? You can do it. But for Steam to go out and be like, hey, everybody gets to put up paid mods, like, that's not going to work because there's so many mods that don't deserve
one of the first mods that came out, I think it was the one that added the fishing animations. That one got pulled down that night because it used assets from another mod that was free, and he didn't like that.
Of course.
So that was pulled, and I think that guy has since come out and pulled all of his mods because he's just
Isn't that going to cause a lot of chaos? Because
It
a
is.
lot of mods depend on other mods being installed already. So
Yeah.
like, wouldn't that be requiring, like, this mod is free, but it's required to use this mod, which is paid. It's like,
Man, the
No, it's a
Minecraft
nightmare,
community
yeah.
must be up in arms because, like, Minecraft on the PC is mods at this point. Like,
Well, Minecraft's not on Steam, so they don't have
yeah, I was
much
just going to
worry
say.
about.
yeah.
They came out with some rules about Minecraft. You couldn't have a server where you have people buy plots of land because you're charging
Yeah, I
people
heard
to
about
play Minecraft and it's
Oh,
theirs.
right, yeah.
I don't know whatever came of that. I'm not sure because I still feel like some people are paying to get premium features on servers because what they said was you can charge to have someone on your server, but you can't charge for someone that has special privileges on your server. Now I don't know if build mode counts. Like I don't know if you can go to a server where you can't build unless you pay money. I don't really know, but they did have
How big is your server that people are paying to play with you? Like,
Yeah,
I've heard
well-
that people like buy in-game items with real money. It's like, why don't you just play by yourself? And
Well,
get-
yeah. Well, also, yeah. That are these people like really popular or something, and people really want to play with them? Like, is that?
know.
It's like Tom Cruise playing Minecraft, and everyone's paying money to play
Well,
with Tom
if you have a really
Cruise.
good server, like people want a community. Like I used to play Minecraft online on a few servers. Never paid any money, but I was on like exclusive servers that you had to like, be invited to join or whatever, or you had to like fill out an application to get into. People are more respectful there and things like that. And I guess if you pay for it, and you guarantee that people aren't going to be running around griefing and things like that, because
That's true. Yeah, you almost you pay for being there with other people who pay because you know that most people aren't going to be that dedicated to like trolling that
Yeah.
they're going to pay
exactly.
any significant amount of money to do it. We would hope. We would hope that's where the trolling stops.
Well, it's like Steam. Steam just came out with a thing where you have to make so many purchases for your account to be like a full account. You have to spend so much money. I think I believe that was something that came out with Steam. People were like, "What?" But it turns out it's just like so. People can't go spamming. I think you can't get like friend requests or something like that. Like you can't do all the things you normally be able to do towards other players unless you have this verified account.
That's good.
Unless it's clear that you're an actual user of Steam who's
Yeah,
there to use
and
the
it's-
service.
Is
But
that
it
recent?
was kind of it came out like last week. It was kind of misleading because it's posted on Reddit and it was like you had to pay $10 to be a full account or whatever. But it was no, you had to buy $10 worth of games, which is nothing. If you have a Steam account, you're gonna have that much money worth of
Yeah,
games.
get 5 games.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be... Well, that's the thing about Steam. Whatever sales tactics Steam uses to sell games totally works on me. I bought the Bioshock pack of 3 Bioshock games, even though I had 2 out of 3 of them, because it was still cheap, really
Yeah.
cheap. That's amazing to me.
I'm pretty sure if Steam tried, it could sell, like, air. Like, just to get people to pay money for air.
Certainly trying to sell mods.
Realistic Skyrim Air.
I think I'm going to make a mod that lets you unlock all the achievements in the game and sell it for $15.
Yeah.
I'll make some reference to Ubisoft and see how well it does.
It'd be cool to get. Now I'm thinking about realistic Skyrim era. You get like realistic Skyrim wind. You effectively neutralize archery.
Just make like Uplay integration with Skyrim and sell that mod.
Make some stupid thing.
Actually, can you just have everybody's like faces just be like eyes and teeth and be like the Assassin's Creed mod?
Do you think it's going to last?
What?
The whole paid mod thing?
I think something big is going to happen there. It's not going to stay the way it is.
It's definitely going to change. Yeah.
It's going to change in some way. There's no way they're keeping it the way it is. Either that or people are just going to abandon it altogether and not use the workshop anymore.
I am curious to see if it encourages like bigger mods like we were talking about.
That would be cool, but that's like I said, like if you want a bigger mod, something like that, don't go through Steam. Like it shouldn't be Steam allowing everybody to do it. It should be like you want a big mod, like put it up on a different website for sale.
Well, they could just be trying to make it a little bit more prestigious than it is. Like, I guess Valve will probably curate the workshop a lot more now that they have that infrastructure, I would hope, so that you get bigger and better mods rather than just like, change the color of your armor $15.
It's a strange move for a company like Steam, and I've long praised Steam alongside Netflix as being inherently fan-oriented services.
Yeah.
They give the more savings for the customer, but also they are able to give a more amount of money to the developers. And it's a very impressive sort of business model balance they've struck. And so to do this seems really counterintuitive.
But with anything, because I don't think a lot of people remember, or even if we had it when it first came out, like Steam was not popular when it first came out. A lot of people hated Steam.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure they've changed, the model and how things are done on Steam. So maybe I'm sure they'll come out with a change to this paid mod thing where they'll make it better or find some compromises. I will say that about Valve. Valve is one of those companies that would do that. Like I don't think a company like, not to be on the EA, Ubisoft let's hate train, but I don't think Ubisoft and EA respond to their fans or their customer base as well as Valve does.
No, I guarantee they don't.
This is why I'm a little surprised they just came out and implemented this without any sort of feedback from anything.
We're coming up on the end of the radio show now.
Oh, okay.
So if you're watching on video, stay tuned. You're about to see the after show. And if you're in Radio Land, go on to PixelJunkies.ca and you can watch our podcast from there.
And Matt Shea.
And Matt Shea. And there'll be a link to his channel in the description for that video.
Thank you very much for joining us.
No problem, guys. Thank you for having me.
And we're back with the Pixel Junkies after show.
Hooray. Hey. We can swear now. So, gosh darn it.
Adam, please, calm down.
Please, children may be watching.
Screw the children.
Go
to bed.
Do you guys like Assassin's Creed?
I've never played any of the games. I played a little bit of Unity.
Number 2 is actually, at the time, I don't know how well it holds up, but at the time I remember really liking it when it first came out.
A lot of these games, that are popular now, they started when I was in high school, when Mom was like, "You can't have the mature games." So,
okay, yeah.
So I didn't play a lot of them right away because I was like 13 or 14, and my mom was really strict about me playing video games. She told me that I'm never allowed to have Grand Theft Auto in the house, even after I move out. I'm not allowed to. Even when I'm old enough, she said to have the game, 17 plus or whatever. I'm still not allowed to have it in her house because she's the media tells you that it's such a bad game. She's like, I heard about this game that you run around beating up old ladies for their money.
Yeah.
No, Mom, it's not what the game is about. They just let you do that if you want.
Have you gone back now to play some of those games retroactively? Like when I was a kid, and there was a bunch of TV shows that I knew I wasn't old enough to watch or understand.
Yeah.
And then I went back when I was 19 and watched all of them.
You were like, "Gee, these are terrible."
Well, it's hard to keep track of all the games that I wasn't allowed to play very much, but I don't know, not really. I guess I'd like to. I'm trying to think of which games or shows I would watch.
You should go back and definitely play some of the Assassin's Creed games, particularly 2 and 4.
Yeah.
and then stop and don't play any of the others.
Well, to be fair, 2 is like probably the best of the Assassin's Creed game, and 4 is basically Ubisoft's pirate simulator with assassins in it.
Yeah, that one looks cool.
It was awesome.
Black Flag, right?
Yeah, great sailing mechanics in that game. See, that's the time when I am okay with game mechanics, when it's something that I wouldn't know how to do on my own, like lockpick and stuff like that.
Or sail.
Or sail, yeah.
Well, yeah.
The reason I brought up Assassin's Creed Chronicles China has a new gameplay video coming
Yes, it
out.
does.
Do you think that looks good?
I
haven't seen it. I only saw that it was out. I only saw that there's some information about it.
Wasn't that just an iOS game or something?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a side-scroller Assassin's Creed game.
It's kind of like the original Prince of Persia's,
A
isn't it?
little bit. It's more in the vein of Mark of the Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I meant like the side-scrolling
Stop
Prince
hitting
of
the
Persia.
table.
Ouch.
Yeah, waited.
He hit the table like 6 times.
So what are you guys looking forward to this year then in games?
Witcher 3.
I was just about to say Witcher 3.
I haven't played the other Witcher games, but
I'm excited mostly by proxy about those games, like because so many people whose opinions I trust on video games have been so passionate about those games.
funny thing about Witcher 3, I had the opportunity to play it when I was in Boston.
Oh,
Like,
right
it was
on, yeah.
Literally like just there on a table for me to go play at any time. I didn't do it.
Oh, really?
I was going to, like, it was one point I was going to, but I was doing other stuff and talking to other YouTubers and things because I was at PAX.
Yeah.
And then I never got around to doing it. There's like other YouTubers like that I knew. No, like, I don't know if you guys know who Kutra is. He's a
I don't know.
part of the Creatures. You guys know who the Creatures are? Well, anyway, he was over there playing at one point, and a bunch of other people like were playing it, and I never got around to doing it, but I was going to. It looked cool. It looked nice.
This seems to be the year of let's release games that are huge, open, expansive worlds with lots of stuff in them. Because we're getting the Witcher 3, we're getting Metal Gear Solid 5, and then next year we're getting Final Fantasy 15.
Mad Max in September.
And Mad Max.
I'm really looking forward to that.
The big one I'm excited for is probably Metal Gear Solid. That's gonna be one of my
another
next
franchise that's never played before.
Yeah, I hate Metal Gear
really?
Solid, and I'm really looking forward to Metal Gear Solid.
Also, never played Resident Evil before.
You don't need to.
You could skip Resident
What
Evil.
else is a huge?
I think you should play the first one.
Never played any Final Fantasy games. A lot of games I haven't played, but I mean, I played a lot of
What?
games as a
Shut
kid.
your mouth.
I had to burp.
I
sorry.
think that it's one of those things. Like Metal Gear Solid is one of the. I almost guarantee you're gonna love the first game because so many people do because that's before Metal Gear Solid went full
Gear Solid.
quirky, and then it's just Then if you play the others, you're gonna know within the first 15 minutes if you like them or not. But one was a very. They started out very humble with really like very basic stealth roots before they got all anime. And I love anime, don't get me wrong, but I understand why some people don't like it.
25-minute cutscene, right? Intro cutscene. And then they have another... And 2 hours later, they have another 40-minute cutscene explaining the same thing that was explained in the first 20-minute cutscene.
That's ridiculous.
It is, but to be fair to them, it gets confusing, and sometimes you need them to reiterate.
You know how long the ending cutscene was for Metal Gear Solid 4? Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
That's movie. That's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Boring.
It was good. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, but
Can you pause it?
Yes,
like,
you
save
can.
and-
You can.
Oh
it
yeah.
has a save point halfway through because it's so long.
Wow.
When I played Metal Gear Solid 1, I remember I decided that I was going to play the entire thing in an evening.
You couldn't save it, wasn't it?
But yeah, I was playing on the original 60 gig PS3, and you could play both PS2 and PS1 games on that, but you could only save PS2 games, and you couldn't save PS1 games.
Did not create the virtual memory card for it?
It didn't. It wasn't a feature at the
Are
time.
you sure? Because they had that one.
I think now they've implemented it, maybe through updates or
I don't
something.
know.
But
I bought the
Or
original.
also, to be fair, no offense to you, except you're going to take offense to this. You are a bit of an idiot when it comes to some stuff, so you might just not have known it.
I think you need to make it
But
before
not with
you start
computer
playing the game.
things.
That's true.
Computer things I'm good with. So I was like, well, I'm just going to have to, play this till as long as it takes. And I knew I had to get up at 6 in the morning the next morning because I had to go to an assembly. That's actually a long, weird story. But suffice to say, I didn't get it done. But I got a long way through. So when I think of Metal Gear Solid, I think of this like really hazy, late at night, 4 in the morning game. It probably isn't actually as much like that as I think it is. Actually, the next day I actually saw The Happening with Mark Wahlberg. I don't know if any of you had the...
You watched a movie with Mark Wahlberg? What's he like?
It's a tremendous misfortune watching that movie. It's one of the worst movies I'd ever seen.
I'm no longer convinced, because for the while I was always like, yeah, Mark Wahlberg's a good actor. He just made, a really bad movie with The Happening. I'm no longer convinced that he's a good actor, because I've went back and watched some of his other films. I don't really think he's good in a lot of them.
I think, well, I don't know if
you didn't like Transformers?
Adam really hated Transformers.
It's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Actually, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, as regular listeners, if they exist, if the podcast will know.
And they don't.
My mom. Is Entourage.
Yeah,
and, of course, Entourage is a story that's actually loosely based off the life of Mark Wahlberg. And in that show, the main character, what he does when he's picking the movies he's going to star in, he does one for the studio and then one for himself. And it was years later I found out that's actually Mark Wahlberg's approach. He does one the studio wants him to do, and then one he wants to do.
So which one was Transformers 4?
I'm going to assume that was one for the studio. But he did like The Departed. He was amazing. Anybody else in here see The Departed?
Oh, yeah.
It's really good.
I meant to see it, I think.
I really recommend it. I don't think it's on Netflix. It should be.
I can get it.
Yeah.
There are means of acquiring movies.
Yeah.
You're going to go to Walmart and buy it, right?
Walmart? I'm going to go to eBay. I'm not leaving my house. Then again, I'm here.
Can you imagine what would happen if Walmart started to deliver? Or if there was a company that went to... Because I know they got it in some states now, or in some places where you can basically pay somebody to go and get you groceries.
People would die because they wouldn't leave their house and they would die.
Especially if it was Walmart. Walmart delivery would be the worst.
Is it just me, or did shipping get a lot faster for here online?
Yeah. I've noticed that.
It must have, because I used to order things that used to take forever, and I bought a new processor a couple weeks ago, the i7-4970K.
Awesome.
Good job. I bought that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to pay $13, and I'm going to get it early. So I ordered it on Friday afternoon and got it Monday afternoon, and then I found out that I had a wrong motherboard for it. I had to replace my motherboard in order to get that new processor. So I was like, okay, buy a motherboard. Click. But I bought an MSI motherboard because that's the one I have already. It was pretty similar. So I was like, okay, shouldn't have any problems. I'm going to get express shipping on it. And I got it the next day. I was like, what is going on? It's
brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You heard about Future Shop closing down, right?
Yep.
That I remember, because I used to work there. It was a terrible company. Loved the people. That company was terrible, and everybody was like,
They still exist, They can
don't care.
Okay.
You're still a terrible company.
Yeah. It doesn't change the fact that they're awful.
Hopefully not watching, guys.
No, seriously, they're a great company. They would, but the reason that they're going out of business is one, because they made terrible business. They put a Best Buy right next to them in St. John's, but also because online shipping has just gotten so good.
Yeah.
And there's why would you go to a store?
Well, especially if you sell computer stuff, you're inherently dealing with an audience that is going to buy online.
There was a guy who used to come into the store, and he would come in every Friday. He would come in at 9 o'clock in the morning, right as the store opened. He had two of those. I don't know what the technical term is, but the crutches with the handles on it, because he needed both of them. And he had a really hard time getting around the store. And I always wanted to ask him, online exists, right? You don't have to hobble around, because he was in a lot of pain. I'm like, you can just order stuff online and avoid all this hassle. I felt like that was a rude thing to say. So he was a really nice guy. I was always just like, why are you bothering? You can order online from the store. I kept being like, it's I would always say if you ever have any other needs, you can always look online and order directly from online. It's like, that's cool. I'll think about that. And be in next Friday.
When Black Friday comes, I'm just I'm not going crazy and going to the mall.
Yeah. It's actually not that bad here.
It's not that bad here. The problem is just a few crazies. But I'm just sitting at my computer. You know what the thing that blows my mind is? People will skip work to go to the Black Friday sale. You would have made more money 8 hours working than you would saving a couple dollars at the Foot Locker or whatever shoe stores at the mall.
Sales anyway. Just wait until stuff goes on sale throughout the year and buy it. Why wait until all
exactly.
stuff goes on sale?
There's a lot of stores online that have Black Friday sales 2 weeks before Black Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I need to go anywhere?
Cyber Monday.
Yeah, and then there's
my
that too.
IKEA disc during Cyber Monday. It's I saved $100 on shipping. The thing is huge. I got a 6-foot disc, so I can fit everything on it. To my mic and. 2 screens. I want to get another one, but
Made of pure ivory. And
I think.
it was cheap. It was cheap to ask. It was a couple hundred, I think, maybe. And
Oh, right on.
the shipping was like 100 and something on it.
Let me ask you, Matt.
it's free.
What graphics card are you running?
970. I
970.
recently upgraded to a 970. I was thinking about going for a 980, but I was like, the difference is not enough for me to justify buying it. I might end up getting a Titan in like a year, but right now.
Aaron's
Yeah.
got it.
He's got a 980.
AMD.
I brought it up.
I know.
PlayStation 4.
Because Batman Arkham Knight just released its requirements, and by just, I mean last Thursday or Wednesday, whatever. I don't care.
Oh, these go up Monday, by the way, Monday morning.
Okay.
980 is required for ultra graphics, but I'm
They said
pretty
760.
sure that's bullshit. Like 98% sure that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
It's
Not-
55 gigs though. Like, what is it, 8K or something? Like, why is it so big?
I've
Is it
never
open
played
world?
any of the Batman games.
Wait, sorry, did you say it's 55 gigs?
Yeah. The
Isn't
PC version
GTA
is 55
50
gigs.
Well,
Yeah, exactly. GTA is massive. Why is
yeah, GTA
Batman
I
so
understand,
big?
but like, yeah, the 55 gigs.
It's gotta be
Is that
textures.
evil
Textures need the
uncompressed
textures.
sound thing that those companies
I think
do?
it might be.
Apparently, there's I forget what it is, but apparently there is a major reason for that. Like, it helps.
Oh, it helps PCs which are less able to run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, certainly.
It must be that their cutscenes must be recorded with fraps and raw files. And put it in the game. It's like that would take a lot of space. I record for like an hour and it's like 70 gigabytes when I record with the X4. It's even worse with fraps.
Yeah.
I started using fraps because it's not a good program at all.
There's a guy on YouTube. Gavin Free does slow mo videos, and he did one where he shot a CD drive spinning out of control to the point where it snapped because he attached it to like a blender, and he filmed it at like 700,000 frames per second, and he shot a 4-second in real time clip that ended up being 8 hours long and like something like 100 gigabytes of
Man.
something crazy. Which is amazing, just that 4 seconds. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
a really cool
intense.
video.
Yeah.
I'd watch it if you ever get a chance. It's one of the better videos on that site, or that channel. And that channel's really good.
That channel's awesome.
You should do a video of the internal mechanism of that camera working in slow motion.
Yeah.
Like, how does it take so many frames?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think that'd be cool.
What else? News.
Any
happened?
Telltale fans?
Oh,
You
yeah.
played any Telltale games, man?
Yeah, I played The Wolf Among Us
Woo!
Season 1, or Episode 1. No, I played Season 1.
Okay.
No, I don't think I finished Season 1. I think I got through 3 episodes of it and gave up.
You didn't like it?
No, my series didn't do well, and I just didn't get around to actually playing it for myself.
Oh, fair enough.
It's
yeah.
really hard because like that game comes out, and then like a month later, I'm like way bigger than I was before, and like most people haven't seen the game. It's really weird, like trying to do videos that take a long time to come out.
I
like
don't
that.
think Telltale games generally do well on YouTube anyway.
No, and honestly, they're not great for YouTube because of the fact that it's like, well, they're not great for the company to be on YouTube because of the fact that if you watch someone else play it, why you gotta play it yourself? It's a
Exactly.
That's a
story.
good point,
They're
actually.
very
Yeah.
story heavy, so if you're not really paying attention to the story because of the commentary, you're not really getting the full effect of the game.
Like story, narrative-driven games are the worst for Let's Plays. I would find like a game like
I don't do narrative-driven games.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy or Metal Gear Solid would be terrible to do.
Unless it's Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is the only one that makes her a really funny Let's Play. Just because that's so comical.
It's such a bizarre game.
It's good. It's a good game.
Oh, if Jordan was on the show right now, he would
Oh,
say
the audio.
Jason for the next
Jason.
20 minutes.
Jason!
There was a really funny video that we
Jason!
watched where the game glitched and he kept pressing square in order to say that, but like the camera would like track to somebody else on like the other side of like the world, so they'd be on the other side of a warehouse, and you just hear Jason like really far away. It was really really funny.
That was a neat game. I
It
really
was.
liked it. It was really cool.
It was.
Did you play Beyond?
No, I
Beyond Two
didn't.
Souls?
I didn't play. I
If
heard
you-
that was awesome.
If you like
actually.
Heavy Rain,
Them
definitely.
damn AAA games, man, they're expensive.
Yeah.
They are.
I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that game, and I'm like, half the time for me, it's like, can I make videos on this? Because like, I ain't got time for nothing else. It's not so bad now. I got time to play my own games. But like in school, and I was like, okay, so I'm in school. I go to school for several hours a day. I do homework for usually never, but like when I do homework, that's something I do, and then I got to spend time with my fiance, and then other than that, like, okay, so I got to do YouTube videos. Like, I don't have time to play my own games. So now that I'm out of school, it's I'm trying to catch up on some of that stuff. It's like there's such a backlog of things to do and games to play and movies to watch and shows to watch. Never get through it all.
Oh, shows to watch is that kills me because I really try to stay on top of it. And the more I've tried to stay on top of it, and the more I've gotten into TV, the more I realize how much TV I don't have time to watch.
Yep.
That's why you should go the Adam route, which is wait till Rory watches a show, recommends, and then watch it.
Yeah.
Get a Rory.
Yeah, that's really the solution. You just need one of me for every Netflix account.
I started watching Daredevil.
Me too.
I saw an ad for it.
Oh, yeah?
It looks really good.
What'd you guys think?
It is really good.
It is good, isn't it? Yeah.
It's very dark and incredibly gruesome for a Marvel
Yeah.
related series, which is cool.
I hear the Deadpool is. They did an April Fool's joke for Deadpool where it was like Deadpool's gonna be PG-13,
Yeah.
and then like Deadpool comes in and kills the guy. It's like just kidding.
Those rating things are always interesting. Do you guys remember when, like, it was like a couple months ago, they came out and said, Batman Arkham Knight, the new one, is going to be rated M. And I was like, the old ones weren't rated M?
Yeah.
Like, that was when I found out that all the games weren't rated M.
It's so hard to get a game not rated M these days. Like,
It is, yeah.
It's like that's why I've missed out on so many games because when I was in high school, my mom was like, "You can't play mature games." So all these games the series that started and games that started to come out, and I was like, "Okay, I can't play them." But like Call of Duty 3 was T for teen. Yeah,
Oh, was it really?
I think so.
Huh. I
It
never
was
knew
the
that.
best
pretty
Call
good.
of Duty.
Was it? I didn't play it.
It really wasn't.
I
It was
like
alright.
Number 4 was my favorite, just because number 4 was when it. Number 4 was both the best and worst because it was really good, but then it changed Call of Duty into what it is now. I feel.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Call of Duty 4 seems like it would be like the turning point for the. Because like it was, what was it, Modern Warfare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 3 Modern Warfares.
And that was where they gave up. That was where they realized that people would still play a game online, even if the online was unbelievably burdened by lag and poor hit detection.
Yeah.
And they just kept on that
Oh,
road.
Call of Duty is essentially broken when it comes to hit detection. Like, you'll shoot somebody like here, and the bullet will hit them, and they'll just be like, "Nah, I don't care." Speaking of Call of Duty, the new trailer for Black Ops 3,
The teaser.
the teaser dropped, and it basically is they're talking about like genetically or mechanically modified humans and like super soldiers. And
It's
stuff. I'm like,
basically Deus Ex.
yeah. Or if you want to stretch far enough, Halo.
It's a new Deus Ex game coming out, right?
Yes.
When is that coming out? Because I want to play it. I really like Deus Ex. I finally beat it like last year.
Human Revolution.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone back and played the first one? Because I've heard that's like the classic kind of.
Yeah,
No, I
you
haven't.
You should definitely go back.
Did you play the director's cut or the standard version?
The standard version.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I might play it a little bit. No, I wanted to play the director's cut. What's different in that?
It has the DLC implemented into the game.
Okay.
And the leveling works like the way
You level. I don't think you level up any faster. The boss fights let you do it non-lethally now.
yeah.
it's not it's not leveling up like in change of speed. I think there's something that it makes it harder to like level yourself into a corner
Oh, maybe.
with certain things.
Anyway, the main change is you don't have to, like, if you're playing a non-lethal stealth character, you're not forced into combat with the boss battles in the director's cut.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to play it again. Honestly, it's a really good game. I like stealth and things like that. Zipping around, killing people.
I feel like I like stealth as well, but when I like in a game like Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4 or whatever, where you can both run and gun and stealth, I feel like unless I try stealth at first, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Like I always try and stealth at first, and if I screw up, I'm like, oh well.
Yeah, I have
just
no
run and gun
idea
and
when
stuff.
this is coming out.
Have any of you guys played Overgrowth for PC?
Yes. Yeah, huge fan.
Good game.
It is.
Because I started a series on it recently, so I've been playing it, obviously, more.
I haven't actually played it in a long time. Like, I was a backer first when it was, started.
Was there stealth in the game then?
No.
Because you can creep up behind people and choke them out.
Oh, that's cool.
And you can, if you have a knife, you creep up behind them and hold onto them as long as you want until you press left click, and then you slice their throat.
I'm gonna re-download that. How far along is that? Like back
It's nowhere really.
Yeah.
The community content is nice though.
Okay.
That's why I'm doing videos on it, because there's community content for it. Like there's all kinds of custom maps and custom characters. I had a frog today, and it looks like he's twerking because like for some reason his body has like physics to it, so it's like rippling back and forth, and like his ass is just like flopping. I don't know, it's really strange, but
I really like the controls in that game.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a neat game for sure. I don't think it's worth $30 unless you include like community content, maybe, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not worth the money right now.
Did you play any of the old Elder Scrolls games before Skyrim?
No.
I think if you like Skyrim, I think you'd really like Oblivion. Because it's similar, but it's got a similarly sized world with slightly, in my opinion, more developed side quests. Like there's more of a lore going on, a more cohesive storyline in the side quests. Whereas Skyrim, where it takes place sort of so late in the universe.
You know my main thought through the whole paid mod thing?
What?
Time to go back and play Morrowind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and going back to play Morrowind is awesome because you realize how cool the menu system was.
Yeah, just to avoid all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Whenever I think about Oblivion, I just think of the ugly faces in the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
There are mods to fix that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking if I do go back and play it, I'll have to go back and throw on a bunch of mods.
I
It
recommend
actually
it.
looks very pretty if you mod it.
Yeah, it looks like Skyrim quality
like
good.
anything, but
Like original Skyrim quality good, not modded Skyrim quality good.
yeah.
Are there retroactive transactions for mods on Steam, or is it just like you have them so you can keep them?
You can get a refund for up to 24 hours.
No, I mean like if you have a mod and now you have to pay for it, do they charge
Oh,
you?
no, I don't.
Or do you just get to
No,
keep it?
it's not retroactive charging, I don't think. Is it?
I think the creator has to upload it again
was
in
gonna
order to
Yeah,
charge.
because with retroactive charging, like in Andrew's case, like Andrew would be about to lose a whole bunch of money
Well, yeah,
like-
it'd be stupid,
if
obviously.
it was going back and
I'm
making
just
you pay for
wondering,
all the ones you
yeah.
got. Yeah,
It'd be like, I guess you could revoke it from your account or something. But
that would almost be hilariously mean to do that.
Like,
Gabe Newell
who
personally
puts up
comes and steals
Skyrim?
your
You owe us
computer.
$500. Like, delete. Delete Steam.
Yeah, exactly.
delete System 32.
Throw a hard drive out window.
You know, that's something else actually. The guy I was talking about earlier that got one of his mods removed for copyright infringement, and has since got back and tried to get all the other ones removed because he wants out of the whole paid thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm sure he's been given a lot of threats and all that.
Yeah.
But Steam refuses to remove his content as of right now. By the time you're watching this, it might not be the case. But Steam refuses to remove the paid content unless it violates some sort of copyright thing. So even though the mod he created and owns, 100%, he can't get that removed from Steam unless it violates
Can you
some sort
upload
of
new
agreement.
versions?
Huh?
Can you upload new versions of a mod?
Yeah.
So why don't you just delete the uploaded blank TXT file or something?
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose he could.
Just put some copyright infringement in there and then you're good to go.
Yeah, version 3 of this mod is actually a blank file that doesn't do anything.
Or version 3 is incorporating this mod into it without permission.
Right.
Whoop, gone. And you're done.
Or something like, oh, look at all these Nintendo characters. You can now be Princess Peach. And it's like Nintendo comes in, swoops down like a vampire. It's like, no!
Oh god.
They
Yeah.
don't even let
Lawsuit.
you have videos of that these days and they take your revenue.
Don't you
Yeah.
have to be a paid partner for Nintendo in order to upload their videos? You have to be Nintendo.
You have to be a member of their ridiculous club, right?
They'll claim your videos, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beyond absurd.
it's a
Have you ever
separate
done a
condition.
Nintendo video?
Nope.
No. And I suppose you don't plan on doing one
I don't
either
play Nintendo games anyway. Is there anything? No, I mean, I played one or two. No, I don't even think I have. I was going to say Super Nintendo games. I don't think I have played any of them.
We've done one or two, but they've been old games.
Is that
so I don't
anything
think,
on Nintendo, or is it just first party?
I don't know. I have no idea. We did Mario Tennis on N64.
And we somehow managed to get Super Donkey Kong Country 2 on the Super Nintendo, where the video recorded fine, but on the screen that we were playing it on, it was flashing, and so burned our retinas,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh.
But if you squinted, it was fine.
yeah, it was
In
weird.
retrospect, we should have done that through emulation instead of.
I mean, I had the Super Nintendo there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the end of the show now. Thanks, a lot,
Matt.
Matt, for
Thank you guys
coming
for
on.
having
Thank you.
And we will see you guys
Goodbye.
very, very soon.
Hang on, before we go,
Yep.
next week, me and Rory, before the show, will be going to see Avengers 2.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to have a spoiler-free, just talk about
Better
the
be.
movie, overall quality. Aaron's going to leave.
Yeah.
But we won't get into any spoiler territory until the
Absolutely,
week
yeah.
after.
And then everyone will have a review because you
Yeah.
People have already seen it. What's on the go there? Why are there people in like the UK who've already like seen the movie?
UK release dates. I'm not sure if that's the case with this, but UK release dates are crazy weird. Like sometimes they'll get a movie like 6 months after it comes out in the US. I don't know why there's such a difference, such a varying.
Because like people have tweeted, like people that I know on Twitter have tweeted that they've seen the movie.
Yeah.
I don't
Always
premiere,
leaks.
like-
Always leaks of everything. Game of Thrones got leaked.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 episodes of it
Yeah.
got leaked.
Well, no, I think
Who messed that up?
Best part is when Tyrion suicide bombs Daenerys. Fantastic.
I like the part where Arnold Schwarzenegger comes in. I didn't think they would bring him in.
Yeah. Come on, Adam. Let's be believable here. Jeez.
I'm sorry, Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see you guys in the
week.
near future.
Bye again.
Never.
Bye.
I'll never see you guys again.